Dead by Daylight's Survivor Rulebook. A phrase that you've probably heard before if you've played any sort of Dead by Daylight over the past 10 years, and if you don't quite know what it is, let me paint you a little scenario. You're in a game, you've had probably one hook at 3 gens, the gens are flying, it ain't looking good. So you decide, what if I try and tunnel one of the survivors out to make my life a little bit easier? So there you go. You start tunneling a survivor. You finally get them on the hook once. You get them on the hook twice. Another gen pops. And then you finally get them out of the game, which puts the survivor count down to 3 from 4, which obviously makes your game a little bit easier. Now the survivor's gone, you're having a way easier time. You start killing the survivors a little more. The gens start to slow down. And eventually you win. And then after the game, you're looking at the survivors' builds, and little Timmy that you tunneled about 5 minutes ago isn't quite too happy, because in little Timmy's Survivor Rulebook, it says that you're not allowed to do that, and you get called lots of angry things because of little Timmy's rulebook. And that's what I'm talking about today. The Survivor/Killer rulebook, I like to call it the player rulebook, the fake player rulebook, which pretty much means a massive rulebook of things that essentially don't matter and are not rules. The majority of the Dead by Daylight community has just sort of accepted a lot of things as not sportsmanlike to do, regardless of if they're actually helpful in a hard game scenario, on both sides of play. And as someone that makes a lot of DBD content, I seem to get lots of comments from angry people about my gameplay on both sides of play. And today, we're going to go and have a look through some of my worst examples of people using essentially their own little Survivor/Killer rulebooks to rule my gameplay and call me a bad player because I simply did something that gave me an easier time in a video game that's notoriously quite difficult. So my YouTube's been doing pretty well recently, which has brought in a huge amount of positive support. Thank you very much, it's been great. But it's also brought in a massive handful of people that have a fake Survivor rulebook. So I play a lot of Killer on this channel, as shown. And if we search the word tunnel in my keywords in my comments, you get a few absolutely legendary comments that just make me laugh. I watch Seine to face tank how awful slugging, tunneling, and being mean to survivors makes me feel. He uses eerie add-ons and hex builds in these videos, which I always feel like is abusing gross game mechanics like Exposed, so I never used them. So far this person has said they like watching me because it makes them feel better because they don't tunnel and slug and use expose add-ons. He loves to tunnel, slug every single match. He does it immediately in the Trapper game, so maybe I can learn from him. Also, it doesn't seem like he ever has fun, ever complains about playing every killer in the game. I think this guy just dislikes me. I have gathered that. I think a lot of the time these sort of comments come from people that really don't understand my humor, and I am incredibly blunt. I'm incredibly, Britishly sarcastic, and I guess that comes off in my videos sometimes. If I do sound pissed, I'm not pissed. I'm very blessed. I get to play this game for a living. You know, most people that play this game a lot express their feelings for things that happen, and I do that. I'm never mad. I'm very blessed to be in the position I'm in, so I don't know where the whole idea that I'm miserable comes from. I don't know. But this video in specific is quite funny. I wanted to cover this one because, I just don't understand, why people complain about tunneling and shit like that when the majority of the time, it's completely valid. I think I want to talk about this video in specific that the comment was on, because this one did incredibly well. I think it did it did 328k, which is obviously way above my usual numbers for a killer video. And obviously that's brought in a huge audience. A lot of them not understanding me as a content creator. It has obviously brought in a lot of people that dislike tunneling and have their own little, oh fucking hell, I've just hit the mic, have their own little rule books about what a YouTube creator can and can't do because they said so. So let's have a look here. So the guy basically accuses me of tunneling. Let's get the comment up again. Obviously they've called me out in many ways. One of them being that I tunnel, slug, and be mean to survivors. So I think it's quite common for players that don't really know how the game works and have probably a lack of experience to dislike things like tunneling and slugging. And I think this game is a great example because this was entirely warranted. So watching through this game, I personally just do not see the issue with tunneling someone here. Plus, I think using this as an example of tunneling being bad is just so stupid because it's entirely the survivor's fault. Even if they didn't get themselves tunnel, I probably would have tried to tunnel them anyway because I'm on the weakest killer in the game, Trapper, bar Skull Merchant, obviously. But if you watch this footage, the survivor dies after hopping in a locker, very clearly. And if you skip forward a little bit, I'm back on them, but it looks like I've gone straight back for them. If you rewind a little bit, so if you rewind to when I couldn't find them, I'm actually just checking on my hex totem. I'm putting a little trap on it, obviously. I'm doing a hex build here, defending hexes as much as I can. And the survivor that has been unhooked is right next to me, watching me cleanse it, implying that they clearly want more chase or something like that. And then I sort of switch off, go for this guy, who blinds me, and when the survivor that got tunneled had a chance to run away, she decided to stay and bait me into even more chase. So obviously, I took the advantage. It's a kill. I'm in a bad position on a hex build that can just disappear in 2 seconds on the weakest killer in the game. So obviously, I did leave her again, but I think I ended up killing her because she stayed near me once again, brought me to cow tree, and then died. So that's my second hook on this individual. So there we go, second hook. And I think they died... Oh, I did get a kill in between, and I think the girl died again. Yep, there you go. There was a frame there. She walked in a trap. And because she walked in a trap, I knew that I'm blind, so she probably would have tried to get this hex totem. So I just read that she'd be here, and that's it. So from this survivor's terrible plays, and assuming that I'm not paying attention by trying to sneak my totem, they've died very quickly, and I didn't entirely tunnel them like this guy says. This survivor essentially just killed themselves. They could have been in way better positions, which avoided chase, but they decided to stay really close to me and make really risky plays, which ultimately ended up in them dying. And Jimmy over here, little commenter, was not too happy about that, and obviously has left a very nasty comment. It's, you know what I mean? I'm just reading it like, where does it say that I'm not allowed to tunnel someone? Especially on the worst character in the game. Keep in mind, it was completely like, I didn't even mean to tunnel this person. Although I would have, if they played a little better, I probably would have tried to get them out of the game because they were my first hook. But like, it's just such a terrible example. I think this video has a, yeah, this video has another one. No, it's the other hex video, actually. So many hex videos with people angry about tunneling. Yeah, I think it was this one here. I did another hex video, and if you play killer and you use hex perks, you will know that usually they will just disappear instantly nowadays. Survivors are very on it when it comes to hexes. Your build is usually gone real quick. And in this Freddy game, someone said something, I remember, hold up. There it is, we found it, baby, look at that. No, sir, you were given the win for being a camper and tunneler at 5 gens. The thing is, most people would be like, no, I didn't tunnel, no, don't tell me I tunneled, I didn't. I probably fucking did, mate. And you know what the problem is? Nothing at all. It's not the end of the world continues spinning, and yeah, I probably did tunnel someone this game. And it was probably quite warranted as well. Yeah, so if we skip, this guy seems to be dying here. What was going on? Okay, so I'm proxying this guy, forcing him to second. Both of my hexes, Blood Fever and Undying, are already gone. So I have 1 perk at this current moment. Nothing But Misery is coming up. As you can see, I'm halfway. But I have 1 perk in this moment. I have 2 injuries. I'm at 5 gens still. I realize here, clearly, that they're all coming and wasting their time off gens to try and get the survivor off the hook. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for them to try and come in and trade, because I know if they go for the unhook, I get an instant trade and another survivor on hook, and if they don't, what just happened, I get a second stage, which puts me in, obviously, a way better situation in the game. So what happens here then? So Leon gets off the hook, I hook someone else. In the meantime, then I assume... Yeah, I found him instantly. Missed an M1, but look... Yeah, you can see look, this is exactly what happens. I've forced them all off the gen to come and take hits for this Leon, which essentially, I assume, lost them this game, even though this was a month ago. I don't remember what happens. So this, yeah. So they're trying to take hits for him now, meaning they're not doing generators, they're not doing anything important, and Leon is going to die. At this point, keep in mind, even the Nothing But Misery totem I got up is gone. I have 0 perks in my entire build. I have nothing. So in this position, I need a tunnel to be anywhere near a win here, because I'm fucked. So yeah, so I get the tunnel, and I assume I eventually come to a win because there are 3 players. Yeah, they start crumbling. Yeah, so yeah, I did. I did tunnel, and I did win that game, probably because of the tunnel. But again, who cares? Survivors have plenty of strategies they can do as well, which we'll move on to soon. But you notice how no one in the endgame chat usually says anything about tunneling? I feel like if anyone has my sort of hours, I'm about 7,000 hours, you don't usually see in higher MMRs people complaining about tunneling. These guys didn't complain at all. It's only the YouTube viewers in the comments who had nothing to do with the game, weren't in it. They're the ones that complain about the tunneling. when it wasn't even them. It's just absurd to me. Like, I could go through this channel all day. There's so many examples of people getting second-hand angry for people they don't know on the internet, right? But that's the killer side of things. Survivors have a rulebook where they think tunneling, slugging, camping is all just illegal, and if you do it, you'll get shot through the window by the FBI, and you know what I mean? It's just so... it doesn't matter. It's a game that's hard to win, and sometimes you have to do things that people don't like. There's just so many examples. So many examples. And the crazy thing is, in half of the games where, like, YouTube commenters are stating their little fake rulebook ideas, the people in the actual endgame chat are just not bothered. It's so funny. There's another one. We Are Cooking goes crazy when you cook up some mad tunnels. Here's a great example. I did a video with General a few weeks back. And it was, we became unhookable. I did a video initially on this strategy, and it did insanely well, so we redid it about a year later, and as we thought, a lot of the people from the initial video who were very angry have followed me over to the new one and gotten very angry again at a strategy that really isn't that good at all. The strategy we used was using No Mither, Flip Flop, and Boon Exponential, so whenever we get slugged we can pick each other up and farm Flip Flop from the floor, and then we have Boil Over to pretty much wiggle ourselves off if we get picked up. Unhookable. That's the strategy. It's not good, but it's fun. And we had some very long games here, which people were not very happy with. Like this comment, look, it's got 20 likes. Becoming unhookable cross, becoming bully squad tick. Like, it doesn't matter. If we wanted to become a real bully squad, we'd put on 500,000 gen perks and complete the gens in 2 seconds and leave. And you know what's wrong with that? Nothing. It's a strategy. Just like the rest. And strategies can be annoying. I've expressed my annoyance for strategies in the past. Fast Track was annoying. But it's a game, and you can do it, and you don't get punished for doing it. It's a game with hundreds of perks, hundreds of characters. Anyone can play the way they want to play. It's as simple as. There is no invisible rulebook that tells people they're not allowed to tunnel, they're not allowed to slug, they're not allowed to do stupid strategies like head-on on Survivor. It doesn't exist. Do what you want. Stop letting this invisible rulebook tell you how to play and how not to play. It's so annoying. As soon as that idea just went out of my head, my games have been so much easier, so much more competitive, and I've just had a lot more fun with the game. When you don't think about an invisible rulebook that doesn't exist, you can win games and not feel bad. Like, there's so many people that I watch a few streamers that go, oh, I just hooked this guy, I'll leave him. And they don't leave him because of DS, they leave him because it might hurt his feelings to hook him. You know what I mean? Like, it's a game about killing people. You're gonna kill them regardless. Why does it matter when you kill them? If it seems better and makes more sense for your game to kill them earlier, then just do that. You know what I mean? I've done plenty of videos on this channel over the past few years that have just people have absolutely hated me for, especially when it's like Chemtrap, Head-On. There's always people that will just not be happy. And the point of this video, I'm trying to tell you that it doesn't exist. Get the idea out of your head that you are doing something wrong. If you're losing your games on killer, maybe you need to play a little bit more lethal. You are a killer, after all. Your job is to kill them, not hook them and feel bad because you hooked them 20 seconds ago. I've done plenty of videos on this idea, the speed build, and so many people used to get angry at this one. And people will say this game's killer-sided because of one speed build on YouTube where me, the creator, has played probably a few games where it hasn't gone well, and obviously picked the ones where it has gone well, so I can make it a video. Obviously you see titles on YouTube that are like, overpowered, insane build. Like, it ain't that insane. It's just, that's a part of the job, unfortunately. Stop getting your fucking cock in a twist over builds that really aren't that broken. It always just links back to this big survivor killer player rulebook that you're not allowed to play certain strategies, you're not allowed to play certain ways. It don't fucking matter. Play what you want. I'm gonna leave it at that.